All right, folks, we're back in the kitchen. Let's see if we can do this without the bird. We're on our last leg of the journey. That is to say, what we have left are the muscovy leg quarters. You see? That was another good one. All right. Now we're going to do something a little differently just because I've got some curiosities. The leftover soup from yesterday, I've brought up to a boil. This is very easy, and you're going to love it. We're going to make some beans. So we've got some black beans here, and we've got some kidney beans, and this one is really easy. We're not going to town here. We've got an onion, habanero, of course, it's optional. So there's just enough fluid left from last night. See, we also took that soup and the duck and we made some ramen out of it. You know, and unfortunately all we had on hand were the cheap, what is it? What's it called? Maruchan or something like that? Hold on, let me look. Yeah, Maruchan ramen, you know what it is. So the noodles weren't great, but we knew that going in. But there was enough flavor to make up for it. And really the only thing I did differently, than when you saw me make the soup was we put the noodles in the bowl. We brought the soup up to a boil, poured that on top, broke one of our eggs out into the water so it would slowly poach. We put those mushrooms in there like we did. A little bit of parsley to garnish. I forgot I had some growing out here. And what else was it? A sauce here and a pepper paste here. So we're going to run through this very quickly because this video, you may be thinking, how do you get 2 hours worth of cooking one muscovy? Well, I've been cooking this muscovy for 2 days now. So let's hurry up here. Black beans are going in the pot. So we got it back up to a boil. There's already a fair amount of duck pieces in there. Went ahead and strained most of the fluid out. And be careful. We don't want that splashing up on us, do we? Now, you can do this with all kinds of beans. You can soak the beans and cook the beans if you want to. Let me turn that light on, you see a little better. You can soak the beans and cook the beans if you want to. But this is quick and this is easy. So we're going to do the same thing with these red beans. You can use a can of baked beans if you want to. Uh-oh. I was not prepared. But if you use something like the Bush's baked beans, I'd recommend rinsing them off. Get the flavor off of them. Because you don't want the flavor they put on them. We want the flavor that we're going to put on them, right? Alright, so I brought it up to... Nope, not that one. I brought it up to a boil, so we have it hot already. We're expediting the process here. So that's the soup we made yesterday. So we're looking at using leftovers and everything as well. This is wonderful. Alright, that's the beans. Really easy, isn't it? Do we need to season it? We most certainly do not need to season it exactly, but we have to change up a couple of things. Let me chop these onions really quickly. Alright, so the onions, just to show you, I like them in big chunks because I like a big chunk of onion when I'm cooking something for this long. They're going to get real soft in there. This is a red onion, and I like a lot of it. You don't really have to break it up either. It's going to fall apart as it cooks. And this is going to cook for a long time. Let's put some more onion. Why not? For me, I'm just going to cut the habanero in half and drop it in there. We'll turn it up a little bit. We're going to let this just simmer and simmer with the lid off because we want it to get a little thicker. And you see how that color is changing. Now we're doing beans, right? We're going to change the flavor profile a little bit because these are almost going to be a sort of barbecue bean. How are we going to make these taste like barbecue beans? Well, molasses is a good start. Now I don't want to go too sweet, but this molasses will add a smokiness and that dark color to go along with the beans. You don't need a lot, just about that much. Now you might have noticed that I don't tell you amounts for the most part. And I never cook with measurements, so to speak, but that comes with experience. So you have two choices. You can experiment with your seasonings and learn as you go, which means you'll get it right sometimes and you'll get it wrong sometimes, but so long as you continue to pay attention, you'll learn what you can do and what shouldn't be done. Or you can start with a recipe with actual measurements and follow them to a T and then alter it as you go. Okay. We're gonna put the lid on it right now, just for now, just to get it back up to the proper temperature. Now, where's the leg? I'm gonna show you. We're doing something special with this one. And there she goes. Please pardon the noise of the cicadas. This is just something we have to deal with. This is my smokehouse. I built it, so it's pretty much a rectangle with the most inefficient door you can think of. Built it by myself, and I don't know what I'm doing. But, man, this thing works great. Pardon me. So, I don't want to make this video 3 hours long, so I'm not going to talk too much about the smokehouse. But if you want to see how it works, you want to see it in action, you want me to go over it in detail, how I built it, all of that, my goodness, then just let me know in the comments and we'll spend another week doing that. In the meantime, though, we got something special for you. Terrible door, but man, does it work. All right, so let's have a look here. Let me see, can I see you? Can you see me? Yeah. As you can see, the smoke does great. It smokes very well. Just using a smoke tube in there right now with some hickory blend pellets. I'm gonna have to move, it's a lot of smoke, right? So I've got the timer going here. It's been going for an hour and a half. And that duck is smoking. Now this is the piece that had the salt on it. She's not quite ready, but that's okay. The beans are going all day, so we're gonna come back out here later and collect our duck. Okay, so we've got our leg quarter in here, and I'm just going with the flow here, right? So we're gonna do the same thing that we did with the breast now, only now it has a little bit of smoke on it. We don't need too much anyway. And now we're gonna sear it. And then we're gonna transfer it into our pot of beans. Pretty neat, huh? We know how this goes. This is gonna take a while. Remember, cold pan, let it come up to temperature, let it sear, flip it, let it go. We're not gonna put it in the oven because we're gonna put it in our pot. Now, a couple things. Again, that's the light smoke we put on there. You might be thinking, well, that doesn't look like it smells like smoke. But it does. And, well, I can tell you, I smell like smoke. And I bet you if you put me in this pot of beans right now, it would impart that flavor. Don't put me in the pot of beans, though, please. Thank you. We did pick up some garnish for this. Let's see here. Yeah. Excellent. Again, I'll put my pot back on the heater. Now again, I'm not worried about cooking this all the way. We don't need to do that because it's going to sit in this pot of beans for quite some time. And we want this for the flavor mostly. So all that fat that doesn't get reduced, it doesn't get rendered, it's going to be in there. Not that it needs any more, because remember, that's our duck soup. But we're going to shred this. It's going to add some more of the meat and a different, probably a different kind of feel to it, because it's a leg. Pretty wonderful. It's still got some of those aromatics stuck to it too. Not too long. Yeah, we're almost there. Not too long. Crispy skin. If you don't want to do the flour thing, and I don't. Ooh, look at that leg. Look how that leg just sucked back in there. Perfect. Move your leg out of the way. Take you a masher, a potato masher. Now, we don't need to mash all this up. Matter of fact, primarily, we're hoping to mash the red beans. They look like they were already well on their way when we poured them out. But keep that leg out of the way and just work that in there a little bit. You could take this out. Come here, you. You see how it's pulled back on that leg? It's well cooked now. You can pull this out and shred it. You can pull this out and serve it. You know what? Let's pull it out and serve it. There's plenty of duck in here. We got the salty flavor already cooked in there. So how about we just put on a nice little presentation for you? We didn't do a nice presentation with the rest of them, did we? I would say pour this over some rice. Right over some rice. Do it. Trust me. You'll love it. This is great with rice. I'm going to do something differently. So we're just going to sprinkle a little bit over. So, sour cream. If you want to serve a plate of spicy food, sour cream will lessen the heat. Although rice will do that to a degree as well if you're using rice. Alright, so you take your sour cream, don't just spoon it on there like that, alright? We want to soften it a little bit so we get a nice dollop. What's Daisy's thing? A dollop will do you. We're going to take this nice dollop, and where do we want to put it? To the side. Yeah. So let's just plop her right down there. Get off of there. I was just complimenting the dolloping. Alright. This here. It's in Walmarts and dollar stores maybe, and it's everywhere around here in the Southeast. This is good. It ain't great, but it's good. That's a habanero sauce. And what we're going to do is we just going to drizzle a little bit into there. The duck leg and the beans. I wouldn't typically serve the duck leg with my beans, but I want to try it. So it's very well cooked. It's been in there long enough to boil out some of that saltiness to put it in the beans. We've got everything we need. And again, nice ball of rice. You know, you put it in a bowl and you... I'm going to lean way over here so I don't have to move the camera again. Here we go. Wow. Just right off the bat, man, all of those flavors are coming at me. And there were already pieces of duck. I got a piece of duck there. Holy cow. That's good. Now, if you're trying to make it more appetizing, like I said, the rice is a good idea. You could also serve the leg to the side and put this in a bowl. Whatever you got to do. There's a lot of options here. Our main focus here was to find out how to cook this muscovy. Let's try it with a little bit of this sour cream and hot sauce. I feel the heat. All right. Wow, yeah. So the sour cream doesn't take away from it. There's so much flavor in here. It absolutely does not mask it at all. So sour cream is a safe bet. All right, let's have a look. Can I get through it with my spoon? Yeah, pretty good. We're going across the grain here, so the spoon is not the ideal. Let's try it. Oh, wow. Wow. Mm-hmm. Man. That's really good. Really, really good. The spoon is not the right tool. Golly. I'm gonna pick this thing up here in a second. I'll do that off the camera, so I don't make a ridiculousness out of myself. But look, man, that tastes like good pork. And you know what? It looks like good pork. And this is just salty enough to know that it's been properly seasoned. So in that way, this piece of meat is maintaining its seasoning better than others cooked in that way. This is the ticket. If I'm gonna do a pot of beans and I have a muscovy duck ready to go, I'm doing this. Like, this is a definite, okay? The breasts sliced like you saw are a definite. This dish is a definite. What else did we do? Oh, and the soup is a definite. Everything about this was definitely amazing. Man, just ridiculous.